What do you need to know about the next league of Path of Exile 3.16 Scourge? Today I will very quickly tell you my personal findings. I watched the live stream this morning. I'll tell you what you need to know as a relative non-pro player who doesn't scrutinize every single line of patch notes and stuff. Sounds like your cup of tea? Stick around, let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gyro, I'm your host here. Today we're talking about very quickly, in a nutshell, what is most important about 3.16 Scourge League. That's the next expansion, next league in Path of Exile. Okay, so today was a live stream. I highly encourage you to watch it in full length if you're interested. Otherwise, the little entertainment replay is up there right now. And today we're looking at the patch notes, and I've already kinda scribbled, highlighted the most important bits. No, you don't need to read them. I'm quickly going to summarize it for you right now. We're gonna scroll through this together. Most importantly, in a summary, massive amount of changes. Okay, if you remember nothing else, I can tell you massive amount of changes impacting beginners and pros alike. Specifically, some builds that have performed really well in the previous leagues, including Expedition League 3.15, such as Forbidden Rite Totems, we're gonna say rest in peace, RIP to those builds. They have nerfed some of those builds that have been clearly overperforming. They've been super fun, but they've been overperforming. So there are nerfs to those builds, but they've given us a lot in return, in my opinion. That's a short summary of it. Path of Exile Scourge. Scourge is a new mechanic, it's a new challenge league, as they refer to it, as these little expansions go every 3 or so months in Path of Exile. And in this particular case, we are going to be dealing with a new challenge. Some mysterious figure is going to give us a blood crucible device that some insane person would decide, and that's presumably you and I if we're playing this game, would decide to plug into our body without any particular anesthetic and any particular surgery involved. Just gonna plug it into your body. And then as we kill monsters, this thing fills up with blood apparently, which is lovely. And basically, as soon as it completely is full, that blood crucible, it transfers it into a parallel reality where an invasion of demons is happening, which is lovely as well. We fight the demons, we get the sweet loots, we run out of that blood in that crucible, and it throws us back out. It kinda is similar to Delirium. It's similar to Delirium Mirrors. When you go into Delirium and while you are killing monsters, you kinda stay there and you get some sweet loots, sometimes mostly cluster jewels. In this particular case, we'll be getting some other completely new items. Well, those new items will be corrupted because it's from this corrupted demonic world, I presume. Yeah, that's flavor Gyro is adding here for you rather than was told to us. Lots of cool stuff. So you get these items can be put into Blood Crucible. When we are killing the Scourge mobs, the Scourge enemies, basically this item will be absorbing the corruption from that alternate world of Wraeclast that is invaded by demons, and it kind of focuses all that power into the item, which in essence all you need to know is that in the end it gives 2 modifiers to that item and makes it corrupted. One modifier is apparently, according to the game director Chris Wilson, apparently makes it very overpowered, very OP potentially. Another thing is a counteract to that power, and it could be very detrimental to us as a player. So the whole game is about the fact that we need to look for those powerful items and kind of hope that the random roll on the item that we're gonna get will give us a very OP power on one hand, and the kind of detrimental part that is irrelevant to us. Like, let's say, if you're playing a cold-based wizard, then something detrimental could be from reducing your physical damage or reducing your fire damage. And because you're cold, you kind of don't care. First of all, they're adding new spells, new skill gems, yeah, which is great, because a lot of other changes will make us play our builds differently, will prompt creation of new builds completely, but these 4 are completely never seen before new builds based on new skills, which is always most exciting for me personally. First, energy blades. Energy blades are converting, I understand, some power from our energy shield into kind of this energy blade based kind of thing that slices through stuff. That's cool. Now, Temporal Rift reserves a certain amount of mana to allow you to jump back into the past after a short period of time, as far as I understood it from this brief description and from what was shown in the in the stream. So it's kind of a bit more complex, but it looks like, let's say the point is that if you're doing something that does tremendous amount of damage, say Forbidden Rite. Forbidden Rite is doing a lot of chaos damage to the enemies, but it hurts you. So you're hurting yourself, and then you use Temporal Rift in this particular case, and it rewinds you back like 4 seconds or whatever it said there. It rewinds you back a short time when you were at full health. See what I mean? So you kind of are getting a very, very interesting mechanic there, but it definitely is not going to be noob friendly. I don't think that Temporal Rift is going to be anywhere near a league starter level for starters, beginners, relative non-pro players, which I am as well. I would classify myself as one of Path of Exile. Tornado looks amazing. Tornado is like tornado, right? And it looks like it can be modded. It can be Tornado of Fire, it can be Tornado of some other stuff. And apparently, if I remember correctly, I listened to Chris on the stream. Chris said that if you shoot projectiles into that tornado, it empowers that tornado. Who knows, right? Maybe if we shoot fireballs, it becomes fire. Maybe if we shoot frost bolts, it becomes frost. Who knows? It is time for us to explore, to discover. I'm very excited about it. Apparently they are reworking a little bit and buffing Explosive Concoction. If you haven't watched my Explosive Concoction preview, kind of build in progress, maybe take a look at it, because we have time now before the league actually starts in a week. Take a look at it. Main conclusion was that it was fun, but it was underpowered, especially compared to other builds in 3.15, yeah, where that Explosive Concoction skill was added. Now, they said that Explosive Concoction has been reworked, and it will be more powerful now. And now that they are more confident in the performance of Explosive Concoction, they're adding a counterpart, which works very similar. It is going to be Poisonous Concoction, number 4 on the screen here. Poisonous Concoction is going to use our life flasks as opposed to utility flasks. So it's going to be a chaos-based build, clearly, and it's probably going to be a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to be revisiting something like this along those lines, totally. There's a whole bunch here with the vague, faint question mark on my screen. Soul Link gems. So they are for the very first time, either ever, because I'm not sure if they've done it in the past, or maybe for the first time in a long time. They're adding skill gems that are boosting and creating interesting synergies if you play in a group with someone. They create certain links between you and a friend and give you buffs with some detriment as well. For example, I think Chris was talking about that one of these Soul Link possibly gem powers your friend and yourself, but if the friend dies, you die too. Stuff like that. Sounds fun. I won't be doing it, but it's something for your attention. There's a whole bunch of other things going on there. They're introducing new types of orbs, Tainted Jeweler Orb, Tainted Fusing Orb, which basically is like Jeweler's Orb and Fusing Orbs, except they work on corrupted items. Cool, excellent. They are also reducing the amount of stackable items, such as the portal scrolls and scrolls of wisdom, other kind of stuff. Instead of clicking everywhere, collecting every scroll, they will drop more rarely, not like all the time, but they will drop in stacks of 5, 12. So I think that's great. That makes it a little bit easier to click around. I'm skipping here a lot of changes. The Expedition League mechanic is now joining the main game. There is a whole bunch of stuff. And they are giving you guild housing. How exciting is that? Guild housing. If you are into groups of people, if you are into guild play in general, into social environments, if you want to see your friends, your guildmates in one social hub, they are putting a lot of effort into introducing this. So they're giving you a social space, which can be, Guildmaster can nominate a hideout to be a social space for the guild. And you can see a map device there, you can see a stash there, guild stash there. So it's pretty cool. I am personally, again, not interested, but if I had a massive army here of people who are on my channel, I probably would have created a bit of a guild for us here, Gyro's Path of Exile guild. Not at the moment. Hideout improvements, if you didn't know, in your hideout in Path of Exile, it's basically your housing, yeah? It's kind of a base where you can, it's your home. You always could rearrange your hideout. You could invite NPCs into your hideout, you could uninvite NPCs from your hideout. You could put a map device in this corner of the room or move it over there. You could put a stash here. You could decorate. In order to do these decorations in the past, you needed to earn Master's favor by doing different things, such as helping Einar, the hunter, on the maps. It gives you Master's favor when you complete the mission, if you noticed it in the past. So with that Master's favor, you used to buy decorations for your hideout. Now they remove this completely. Now nothing stops you from just going straight into the hideout decorations in decorations tab in both personal and guild hideouts and do whatever you want with your hideout. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I'm not too much into decorating I'm not into housing generally in MMORPGs, in any other games, but I know a lot of people are, and I think it's fantastic that they're doing this. They're adding uber endgame content, Blight Ravaged maps, which I think start dropping from tier 16. If you're not into far end game of Path of Exile and a true beginner, then don't worry about it. Very simple. But if you are starved for new content, kind of the higher you push in the game, the higher you push through Atlas and stuff, then it would be very interesting for you. And I guess you will read a lot about this yourself, because you surely are not a beginner who you need me to explain the basics to, right? I mean, I'm happy to discuss it with you in the comments, but I don't think you need me for this. Further Atlas and map changes. So Chris said that in 3.17 expansion, which is next year, they are going to do a major rework of Atlas. So I look forward to that. But for now, in 3.16, they're doing some rework. They are shortening the whole Atlas adventure, Atlas Unlock Discovery adventure by half. Labyrinth is how you get your Ascendancy. That's how you become not a wizard but elementalist, or not a wizard but necromancer, in case you're completely new and don't know what Labyrinth does. Previously, the first 3 goes through Labyrinth were relatively easy. You just needed to level up, you needed to get stronger, and you got through Labyrinth and you got a few extra points to put towards your Ascendancy, towards becoming that specialist class. The 4th time, however, was a nightmare, because you needed to grind endgame maps of Atlas in order to get those special ingredients that unlocked the 4th level of Labyrinth. Does it make sense? Well, what they're doing now is the fact that they recognize the problem that finding all 6 trials of Ascendancies through those endgame maps took a long time and a large number of maps to grind. In Scourge, you don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. You just need to be strong enough, and you just literally pay 1 offering of the goddess, which is one of those ingredients here, to access the Labyrinth number 4. Yeah, so that's fantastic as well. A lot of builds were relying on specific defensive mechanics where dodge and evasion, they have been dominating. Armor, energy shield, those kind of things used to be just like, no one cared about them. Well, comparatively, no one cared about them. So they are recognizing the problem that dodge, blind, those kind of powerful abilities that completely negate the damage, make you avoid damage completely. They were preferred by a lot of players, and there are a lot of builds that were maximizing investment of points into maximizing your dodge, let's say, right? What they're doing is they're saying, look, that's a little bit of an undesirable gameplay. They're removing dodge completely. I have no idea how that's going to play out, but I think that it will result in variety of builds rather than us all going towards acrobatics node and phase acrobatics node on the right hand side of the passive skill tree. And instead of that, we probably will rely more on itemization. We will get items with more armor, with more evasion on them, as opposed to every build looking the same. I think it's a very, very good thing overall, whichever way you look at it. But to summarize, there were a few other things mentioned that I kind of skipped through. That is, there were some particular builds that were maximizing reduction of reservation of your health or mana if you took certain auras. One could run a lot of auras and make themselves therefore ridiculously powerful. So Auramancer builds are not beginner builds, definitely not. It's definitely not my type of builds. But in all honesty, it's a bit of a weird, kind of broken gameplay almost, and they recognized it. So Auramancers are not gonna, in short, they're not gonna be as powerful anymore. They are reducing how that works. They're changing how that works completely. Forbidden Rite totems. My latest beginner-friendly guide on my channel. Take a look at it now if you have nothing better to do before 3.16, because in 3.16 you won't be able to have as much fun. And right now, if you have time, you might as well play it a little bit. What they're doing is, Forbidden Rite as a spell used to hurt you and used to do chaos damage to the target at the expense of hurting you. So what we did in this build, we used totems to boost totem life, but like by a massive amount of percent, yeah? And we used to use totems to do that damage on our behalf, dishing out massive amounts of damage while not dying really. Or dying, but you know, you can recast the totem anytime. they saw it, obviously, said, okay guys and girls, you had enough fun in 3.15. In 3.16, we're going to reduce the health of the totems and just make sure that the totems don't take as much damage when the enemies damage them. So when in normal gameplay, totems will still work, totems will be fine. But in the gameplay specifically around, say, Forbidden Rite, that hurts the item that casts Forbidden Rite, totem in this case, it won't work as much. So RIP Forbidden Rite totems. Shield-based builds, finally, are being massively nerfed as well. So as you know or not know, if you watched a few of my last guides, last videos for 3.15 Expedition League, some of the most popular builds in the league in 3.15 were Spectral Shield Throw and Shield Charge builds. They saw how people are using this, everyone was playing Spectral Shield Throw, a lot of people were playing Spectral Shield Throw, and they just thought, okay, too much damage is being granted by deriving that damage from your shield values. So that is going to be nerfed, which means maybe not RIP shield-based builds, but they're certainly not going to dominate in 3.16 Scourge League. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like I said, it's very important for me to know that you are here for Path of Exile and for casual, friendly, beginner-friendly, unpretentious guides from me and little overviews like this. So please take a second, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more similar videos, and I will know that you want this, so I will prioritize this content going forward. Scourge League is launching, if I'm not mistaken, on the 22nd of October, so that's in about a week from the moment when this video is being released. So in about a week, we will be able to start looking specifically in what's up with those builds, what is actually looking strong in the game, what isn't. And also, for me, most exciting thing, like I said at the beginning of this video, are those 4 new gems that they're adding that are allowing us to create completely new builds, which is fantastic. So I'll see you next time in about a week, once the league kicks off and once the first impressions are in. New builds are not going to be ready by then, but more practical impressions from the skill tree, what it feels like, what it's looking like vector builds and stuff, you can definitely expect it from me. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be speaking with you next time very, very soon. See you later. Bye for now.